Why should you study VCE accounting? Well, to answer that question, why don't we take a look at what accounting actually is. So every business is different. We interact with businesses every day. A lot of us will go and work for big businesses, but small businesses as well. They all have a story to tell. So what we'd like to know is how they tell that story, and they tell it with accounting. Accounting is basically the language of business, and it helps us answer questions like who's doing well, who's doing poorly, and probably the best question is, well, what does well even mean? Why does one business succeed and another one fail? Why is one profitable? Why does another one go broke? These are all questions we can only answer with accounting. So, in particular, some questions might be, how much profit did we make? Can the business afford to expand? Which stock is selling well or poorly? What return can I expect to get on my investment if I invest in one of these businesses? Do we have enough cash? What does the business own? Are the firm shares over or undervalued? And how many debts do we have and when are they due? These are all really important questions whether you're going to work for a business, invest in a business, try and become a client of a business. These are all really important questions. So to answer these questions, a business tells its story with 3 bits of paper, and we call these financial reports. So the 3 financial reports are the income statement, the balance sheet, and the cash flow statement. And together they give us a complete picture of what a business is. And essentially this is what accounting is. It's these 3 reports. So you need to be able to look at them, prepare them, and most importantly, understand them. So they're basically made up of financial transactions, all of these reports. What we say is there's every day things happening for a business like GST. It's buying stock, it's buying cars, it's repaying loans, it's making sales, and so on. And all these transactions need, on their own, don't mean much, but when we put them all together, they tell a story. So what we do is we divide that story into what's called a reporting period. And that period could be a month, it could be 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. And what we do is we look at all the transactions for that period, so assuming this might be the length of a year, and then we try and summarize all those transactions. Now for most businesses, those transactions is going to be hundreds and thousands, and for big businesses, millions. And what we do is we summarize them in the 3 reports, an income statement, a balance sheet, and a cash flow statement. Now we can actually answer these questions. We've got our 3 reports, we can answer all of those questions, but we still don't know, if we don't have an accounting background, how to actually, or where to look for this information and how to answer these questions. So I think for accounting, it doesn't have to be an accountant who needs this information. There's going to be lots of users of this stuff. So it could be the management, an employee, maybe an investor, you're thinking about buying shares in the company. It could be a customer of the business, the owners, which we call shareholders, the government, the tax office, suppliers. There's a whole range of users. Now at some point you're going to be one of these people. We can't interact or not interact with a business to the extent that we're not going to be one of these groups. So it's important that we have a bit of an understanding about what's in these reports. So how can we sum this up? What is accounting? Well, it's basically all those transactions that are happening, we've got to record them. Then we prepare the 3 financial reports. Then we interpret and analyze them, so get some meaning from them. And then lastly, we'll make some really important decisions. And all accounting is that process is going to repeat next period, so whether it's next month or next year, and then we'll record the transactions, prepare the reports, interpret them, and make some decisions. So in terms of where careers and professions are, we've got, if you can record transactions, there's a few dollars in that, and it's a pretty rewarding career. But a lot of that's been replaced now by computers. Software can now do a lot of that. So preparing reports is still, it's got a lot of human interaction and a lot of human skill in it. So there's some good money in that, and it's a much more rewarding career. But then if you're someone who can interpret and analyze those 3 reports, now you're starting to get into serious money, and more importantly, a career that's much more rewarding. And hopefully, whether it's a small business that you own and run on your own, or a really big business, you get to make important decisions. And that is where the big bucks are. That's the most rewarding thing, when you can actually take these numbers, interpret some meaning from them, and then make some really important decisions. And that's basically accounting, those 4 steps.